there, this is Jen. Happy Thursday. Today I am sharing a project for a visible image, and I am using a really beautiful stamp set called Daisy Grunge. And I'm going to be using the bunch or the group of 3 flowers. And I'm also going to use the stencil. It is called Seeing Stars. I'm going to do a little bit of, I think it's called stamp blocking. And so I am using this acrylic block, which is the only one that I have of this size. It's white on the back because I use it for splatter and then I let it dry up and then I just reactivate it. But I'm going to use this side that doesn't have anything on it, so it's nice and smooth. Instead of using ink to do my stamp blocking, I'm going to use some of my watercolor powders. So the first one I'm using is a Ken Oliver Color Burst powder in the color Tangerine. And so I've sprinkled that onto my stamp block, and I'm going to take my water bottle and activate that. So I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. And then when I turn it over, it creates this really cool pattern in the activated ink. And so I'm just trying to get that to move a little bit more. And I'll go ahead and press that down onto my cardstock. My cardstock is a Bristol Smooth. It's a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I will be matting it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size card. And so I'm going to go ahead and just press that into the card and just let it sit there so the paper grabs that ink. And when I pull it up, there's a little bit of a pattern in there, which is cool. It's kind of an organic way. You never know what you're going to get. And before I put the next color on, I'm going to go ahead and take my heat tool and dry that ink up. And the next color I'm going to add is Lush Pink. It's actually a Creative Expressions product. It's a shimmer shaker, so it's got a bit of shimmer in it when it shines in the light. Hopefully you'll be able to see that when I hold the panel up. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that onto my acrylic block and add some water. And then I add a little bit more because I didn't think there was enough. This is kind of a light color. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough powder on there to kind of go through that darker tangerine color that I've already got down. So I'm going to take my card panel and I'm going to place this right over the previous color. So basically what it's going to do is going to fill in some of that white space, and it's going to make that tangerine color just a little bit darker. But hopefully you'll be able to see that that shimmer from that Lush Pink color, it's got little splotches, and then it's got kind of an area where you can really see that shimmer shine through, and I just love the effect. It's really, really beautiful. So hopefully you can see that. And then next I'm going to take the stencil, and so for that I am using the Ken Oliver Color Burst in the color Chartreuse. And so I'm going to put that directly onto my craft mat and then activate it with water. And then I'm going to take the stencil. So I'm using the Seeing Stars stencil. I'm just going to drag that through that activated color and get that as much of that as I can onto my stencil. And then I will take my a card panel again, and I'm overlapping the tangerine color slightly. But I'm just going to set that on there, and what I do is I take a paper towel and press the stencil into the card. Hopefully the paper will grab some of that pattern. But then to make sure that I get enough color on there, I'm going to take my paper towel and blot up that extra color I have left on my mat and kind of try and push that through the stencil so that I get the checkerboard effect. And then luckily when I pull up that stencil, it's got enough of that pattern where you can really see that, and love it. And so I want to go ahead and get that dried up so I can start my stamping. And so I take my heat tool and dry up that ink, and then I'm going to take that bunch of daisies along with the loose petals and place that partly on the tangerine side and partly on the checkerboard side, and then I will take some Versafine Black ink and stamp that up. I actually stamp it up several times just to make sure it's super black and dark. And then to kind of seal that, I am taking some clear embossing powder and spreading that over my stamped image. And then I will take my heat tool and activate that and get that really, really pretty dark black color against the background. And then I stamped up the sentiment that is included in the stamp set. This one says Hello Sunshine. And so I will cover that with embossing powder and heat set that as well. And then I'm taking a little bit of black liquid acrylic ink and adding some splatter. And then I went ahead and cut a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size white card base and adhered that. And that finishes this card off. So fun, really easy. Love the colors. I hope you like it as well. If you did like this video or find it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I hope to see you next time.